Hello, Kate here in the middle of a lake on a kayak, having a good time. I am at a soul spa retreat this week and just having a really great time taking care of myself, taking care of my mind, my body, and my soul. One of the things that we talked about this morning was different methods, different ways of releasing trauma from our bodies. So we talked about a lot of different therapies, different things that people do, like EFT, craniosacral therapy, somo emotional release, just to name a few, transformational breath. The one thing that all of these modalities, all of these therapies have in common is the belief or the understanding that when we experience a trauma, whether it be a big trauma or a little trauma or just, something that happens emotionally or physically in our bodies, that trauma can get stuck in our bodies, in our physical bodies and in our emotional and spiritual bodies. And when that trauma gets stuck in our bodies, we need to find a way to release it. And there are so many different therapies out there that help people release that trauma. Like I said, the few that we talked about this morning, that's just a few. That's just the ones that I personally have had experience with, or one of us here has had experience with. There's so many different ways to release that trauma, to release those emotional and physical ties that you're experiencing. What I shared this morning is a pretty amazing realization. So for myself, 2 years ago, 2 years and 2 days ago, my grandfather passed away. And that was a huge emotional trauma for me. But on that same day that he passed away, I fell down the stairs. And that was a huge physical trauma for me. So a lot of the emotional pain that I experienced when my grandfather passed away was trapped in my physical pain from having fallen down the stairs. It took almost the whole last 2 years for me to work through that pain. And during that time, I have experimented with a lot of different therapies. Physical therapies like chiropractic care and massage, myofascial release, deep touch, all kinds of different things, and also therapies that cross over between the emotional and the physical, things like craniosacral therapy, and I did the emotional therapy with the EFT. I honestly, I can't pinpoint exactly what it is that finally made that pain go away, but I'm happy to say that now, after 2 years, I do not have that lingering pain in my lower back anymore, and it's a really great feeling. So I guess my point is that self-care and therapies and all of those things, it's not one size fits all. Everybody needs it. Everybody needs self-care. Everybody needs a little help sometimes to release traumas, release experiences, both emotionally and physically. But sometimes it's a combination. And if one thing doesn't work, try again until you find the therapy that's right for you. Sometimes it takes longer than 2 years. Sometimes it takes less than 2 years. I don't think that's like a magic number or anything. That's just what was right for me in this specific situation. So that was one of my takeaways from this morning, from this soul spa retreat that I'm on. Just keep trying. Eventually, you'll be able to release that physical or emotional pain that you're experiencing. There's lots of different therapies and methods and modalities out there. Something will work eventually. So keep the hope up if there is something that you're working through right now. Another thing that was really neat that I want to share before I get off here, one of the things that Holly said, Holly is leading the retreat that I'm on right now, and she heard from someone else that she learned from, is that, and I want to say this right, and I might not, but your pain and your traumas and these things that happen to you become your intelligence. Every experience that you have, even if it's painful and traumatic, that experience becomes your intelligence. You learn from it, and it grows into the experiences that you can have after you release it. Not sure that I explained that exactly how she did, but that was something really interesting that I would like to share. So even if you're going through something hard, just remember, eventually you'll be able to release it, and it will become your intelligence. It will become something positive. So take care of yourself today, and enjoy the pictures that I'm going to post later of this beautiful scenery.